Hey everybody, Mr. Regan here, and we're going to be looking at how to complete task 6, and more specifically, how to complete the hands-on activity in Amplify in our 1.2 lesson. So before we get into that, let's first start by, what got us here in the first place? Up to now, you guys have been collecting observations about our different systems that were created, and hopefully you've been able to identify that we have 3 specific systems. We have our hand crank system, our battery system, and our solar cell system. And at this point, you've collected evidence that is going to help us kind of answer our big scientific question: do all these systems that you've created have energy? Now, in order to do that, we're going to be creating a scientific argument using your evidence supported by strong reasoning to help come up with a final claim. Now, the claims that we would have that would answer this scientific question would be either all of our systems have energy or all of our systems don't have energy. That's a pretty big claim considering we have 3 different systems. So whenever we have complex arguments like that, we can use subclaims to help kind of break down the larger claim and then use those subclaims to kind of lead us in a direction either yes, all of our systems have energy, or no, all of our systems don't have energy. Okay. And when we look at these subclaims, we're going to do that by using that hands-on activity in Amplify. So at this point, we're going to obviously click on the link. Okay. And then after clicking on the link, we're going to be recording our scientific arguments in the page, and then we're going to hand in our final work. Okay. So when you click on the Amplify link, it's going to take you here, and it's going to say, hey, look, here are 3 systems, if you remember. And in order, again, to decide if they all have energy or not, we're going to break that big question and that big set of claims that we have into smaller ones. So let's take a look at our subclaims. So in order to decide if they all have energy or not, we're going to have to look at each individual system. So does the battery system have energy? Does it not have energy? Does the crank system have energy? Does it not have energy? And does the solar cell system have energy, or does it not have energy? And we're going to scroll down and notice we have this big set of boxes here. Don't get confused. This is just our reasoning tool that we practiced with the COLA argument, okay? So it's set up the exact same way. In the left column, we have our evidence. In the middle column, we have our reasoning or our connection. And in the far column, we have the therefore, or that subclaim that we have, okay? So what you guys are going to do, you're actually going to start with your evidence. And in your evidence, you're going to be putting specific information you observed about each of the individual systems. So what did you see happen? So, for example, maybe you saw that as you were watching the video, as they were conducting the experiment, the fan spun when you connected it to the battery. Okay, notice I'm starting with my evidence. So from here, you're going to go up to your subclaims and say, okay, which one does this go with? What subclaim does this evidence best support? Is it the battery does have energy, system does have energy, or does not? Okay, hopefully we can recognize that, the battery system does have energy. We're going to take that subclaim and we're going to put it in the therefore section. So now the big question is, how does this evidence support the subclaim? And in order to answer that question, we have to think about the definition of energy. Now, remember, the definition of energy that we looked at the start of this lesson is, energy, there we go, is the ability to make things move or change. So that's the important connection here, ladies and gentlemen. So energy is the ability to move and change. So when I look at this, I see the fan spun when I connected it to the battery. Energy is the ability to make things move or change. Therefore, the battery does not have energy, or does have energy, excuse me. Now, this is a little choppy. It's missing something that connects everything together, okay? Some idea that helps bridge the gap between the fan spinning and the battery system does have energy. So energy is the ability to move or to make things move or change, okay? We could put something in there like, without energy, the fan could not spin, so the battery system must have energy, okay? Notice that sentence there alone connects not only this idea of energy, not only the idea that the fan spun, but our final subclaim that the battery system does have energy. So at this point, your job is to do the same thing, to go through your observations, to go through that energy definition, to go through the subclaims, and to create an evidence, reasoning, and subclaim for each of your two remaining systems. So something about the hand crank system and something about the solar. You choose which one goes where, but when you're done, click that hand in button. If you have questions, reach out to your teacher or myself. Otherwise, good luck.